Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it's no accident that you are here today. Every person in this room has been brought together by divine providence. For I believe that God is about to open a new door for you. A door that will lead to a greater purpose. A door that will unlock the potential you were born to fulfill. Many of you have felt like you've been at a crossroads, uncertain, struggling, perhaps even questioning the path ahead. But I want to tell you today, you are not seeing this moment by accident. Every experience, every challenge, every setback you've encountered has been part of God's perfect plan to shape you for the new door that is about to open in your life. You see, doors represent opportunity. They represent access. They represent a change in your direction. But what many fail to realize is that before God opens a door, He must first prepare the person who will walk through it. The reason you've gone through the seasons of hardship and struggle is because God was building you, molding you, equipping you for something greater than you can imagine. Divine timing is one of the most profound and powerful principles in life. It is the acknowledgement that everything in our lives unfolds according to a higher plan, a divine purpose that we might not always see or understand in the moment. We often grow impatient when we find ourselves waiting, or we question why things aren't happening as quickly as we desire. But I want to tell you today that every delay, every challenge, every season of waiting is part of God's perfect timing to prepare you for the blessings that are yet to come. The reality is we live in a world that wants instant results. We are conditioned to believe that if we want something, we should get it immediately. But the truth is, lasting success, lasting impact, and lasting fulfillment never come through shortcuts. True preparation, the kind that builds character and equips us for greatness, takes time. It is in the waiting, in the seasons of delay, that God molds us, strengthens us, and refines us to handle the blessings He is about to release into our lives. We must recognize that our plans and God's plans are not always the same. While we may have our own timeline, God's timeline is perfect. His ways are not our ways, and His thoughts are not our thoughts. But the beauty of divine timing is that it is always in alignment with the purpose He has for us. God knows exactly when we are ready for what He has prepared for us. We may think we are ready, but in His wisdom, He knows there are things we still need to learn, things we still need to experience, and things we still need to overcome in order to step into the fullness of His promise for our lives. Consider the process of a seed growing into a tree. The seed doesn't immediately transform into a tree. It goes through stages, germinating, sprouting, and then growing steadily in the soil. The tree's roots need to grow deep before the branches can stretch high. It is the same with us. We cannot rush the process. God is carefully working in our lives, ensuring that we are deeply rooted in faith, wisdom, and character, so that when the time comes, we can bear fruit that will last. In our journey, we sometimes struggle with the waiting because we cannot see the outcome. We only see the present moment, the struggle, the uncertainty, and the challenges. But we must understand that God's vision for us is far greater than what we can see with our natural eyes. His purpose for our lives extends beyond what we can grasp in a moment of time. And so, even in seasons of difficulty, God is working. He is aligning circumstances, arranging people, and preparing us in ways we may not even be aware of. He is preparing the right people, the right resources, and the right opportunities. He is arranging the pieces of the puzzle, and though we may not understand how it all fits together, it will in due time. It's also important to remember that preparation isn't just about waiting passively. Preparation requires action, effort, and commitment. While God is preparing the situation, we must also prepare ourselves. We must develop our skills, build our knowledge, and strengthen our resilience. God will not open a door if we are not ready to walk through it. This means we must use the time of waiting to grow, to learn, and to become the person we need to be for the season that is coming. We must also learn to trust in God's process. It's easy to look at others and feel like they are moving ahead faster or receiving the blessings that we long for, but remember that God's plan for you is unique. He knows what you need, when you need it, and how it will shape your life. What may look like a delay in our eyes is simply God preparing us for something greater, something more fulfilling than we could ever have imagined. In this moment, I urge you to embrace the process. Don't be discouraged by the waiting. Don't let impatience steal your peace. Understand that divine timing and preparation are working hand in hand. Every season of waiting is a season of preparation. And when the time comes, when God's perfect timing is fulfilled, you will be ready to step into the purpose, the blessing, and the destiny that He has been preparing for you all along. Trust the process, trust the timing, and know that everything is happening for a reason. You are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Doors are significant symbols in our lives because they represent opportunities. Every door we encounter is an invitation to something new, something greater than where we currently are. It could be an opportunity to step into a new season, a new relationship, or even a new level of personal growth and transformation. But to truly understand the importance of doors, we must recognize that not every door is the same. Some doors will open easily, while others may require persistence, faith, and patience. Some doors will challenge us, push us beyond our comfort zones, and require us to step out in faith, even when we don't know what lies on the other side. Opportunity is not always a simple thing to embrace. Many people go through life standing at doors without recognizing what they represent. These doors may come in the form of new jobs, new relationships, new ways of thinking, or even new challenges. Yet too often, fear and uncertainty prevent us from walking through those doors. We may be afraid of failure, afraid of the unknown, or afraid of change. But the truth is, every door that God opens is an opportunity for us to grow, to expand, and to fulfill the purpose He has placed within us. It is up to us to decide whether we will stand before the door hesitant and unsure, or whether we will gather the courage to walk through it and claim what is on the other side. A door is not just a physical barrier, it's a threshold that leads us to something new. It's a passageway to something greater. When God opens a door, He's offering us access to a new realm, a new level of favor, and a new area of potential. But here's the challenge. Walking through that door requires action. It is not enough to simply see the door. We must make the decision to walk through it. Many people miss opportunities because they stand at the door waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for all conditions to align perfectly before they take action. But opportunity often does not wait for perfection, but because they are inadequate, they struggle. Because opportunities are not always easy. The door may look intimidating. The path on the other side may seem unclear, but that is where faith comes into play. Faith is what allows us to step into what we cannot see, knowing that God is already there, preparing the way. The moment we step through the door is the moment we activate God's provision and favor in our lives. This is why doors are so powerful. They are not just openings to new experiences, but they are the gateways to the destiny that God has already planned for us. The key to stepping through the door is knowing that it's not about what we see in front of us, but about the faith we have in the one who is calling us forward. When a door opens, it is a sign that the season has changed. A new chapter in your life is about to begin. You can choose to stay in the familiar, in the comfortable, and in what you know. But God is calling you to something greater. God is calling you to step into your purpose, to step into your potential, to step into the future He has designed for you. The door is not just an invitation, it is a challenge. It challenges you to trust, to move beyond fear, to take action, and to step into the new opportunities that await. The opportunity behind the door may require a change in mindset. You may need to think differently, act differently, and be different. But that is the beauty of the journey. When you walk through the door, you are no longer the same person who stood at it. You are transformed, you are elevated, and you are equipped with the tools you need to navigate what's ahead. The door represents the potential of what could be, but it is up to you to take that first step. There will always be doors in your life. Some will open easily, while others will require more effort to find and enter. But every door holds the potential for growth, transformation, and progress. It's easy to become discouraged when doors don't open right away or when they seem too difficult to enter. But remember this, every door, every opportunity is a step toward your destiny. It's not the door itself that is important, but what lies behind it. The opportunities for change, the possibilities for success, and the chance to fulfill the purpose you were created for. So as you encounter doors in your life, do not hesitate. Do not stand at the threshold wondering what might happen. Step through with faith, with courage, and with trust in the one who has opened it for you. Every door is an opportunity, and every opportunity is a chance to move closer to the fulfillment of your purpose. The choice is yours. Whether you remain where you are or walk into the life that God has waiting for you. Seasons of waiting are not just periods of inactivity. They are powerful moments of preparation. When we find ourselves in a season where it seems like nothing is happening, it is easy to become frustrated or discouraged. We live in a world that tells us to move quickly, to seize every moment, and to avoid delay. But the truth is, waiting is an essential part of the journey toward greatness. Waiting is not a waste of time. It is an investment in your future. It is in these seasons of waiting that God often does his deepest work in us. Waiting is a divine process. It is a time when God shapes us, refines us, and prepares us for what lies ahead. It is in the waiting that our character is tested and our patience is strengthened. Waiting is a time for us to grow in faith and trust that God's timing is always perfect. We may not understand why things are not moving as quickly as we would like, but in the waiting, God is preparing the environment, the circumstances, and even our hearts for what he is about to release. What we often fail to see is that during this season, God is aligning things behind the scenes, positioning us for success and orchestrating events in a way that will ensure our preparedness when the time comes. Many of us struggle with waiting because we are so focused on the outcome that we forget to embrace the process. We want the result, but we don't realize that the process is what qualifies us to receive the result. Imagine for a moment that you are baking a cake. If you rush the process, if you skip steps, or don't give the ingredients enough time to mix properly, the cake will not turn out as it should. It may look fine on the outside, but it will be incomplete on the inside. The same is true for our lives. We cannot skip the seasons of waiting because they are what make us whole. Waiting builds us, refines us, and gets us ready for the promise that we are about to inherit. During a season of waiting, it is crucial that we learn to remain faithful. Just because we cannot see the end does not mean that God is not working. Just because the doors haven't opened yet doesn't mean that the plan isn't in motion. We must trust that God's timing is always right. He knows the exact moment when we are ready to step into the next phase of our lives, and he will not release us into our purpose until we are fully prepared. Sometimes waiting is necessary because there are things we still need to learn, experiences we still need to gain, or even people we need to meet. Waiting is never wasted time. It is a time of divine preparation. Furthermore, seasons of waiting often bring us closer to God. When we are waiting, we have no choice but to rely on him. In the waiting, we learn to seek his guidance, to trust in his sovereignty, and to recognize that his plans are greater than our own. We are reminded that we are not in control, but that he is the one who holds the future in his hands. And when we can surrender fully to his will during these waiting seasons, we open ourselves to receive what he has in store for us. It is in the quiet moments of waiting that we often hear his voice the clearest, that we experience his peace most profoundly, and that we draw closer to the source of our strength. Waiting is also a time of self-reflection. It is a time when we are given the opportunity to examine our hearts, to evaluate our motivations, and to align ourselves with God's purpose. It is easy to become distracted by the desires of the world and to chase after things that are not aligned with God's will. But in the waiting, we are forced to confront our desires and to ask ourselves whether we are truly seeking what God wants for us. Waiting helps to refine our vision, clarifying our purpose, and ensuring that we are walking in the path that God has laid out for us. It is important to recognize that no season of waiting is forever. Every season has a beginning and an end, and when the waiting season is over, a new chapter will begin. God will not leave you in a holding pattern indefinitely. At the right time, he will open the door, he will release the blessing, and he will reveal his plan in full. But until that moment comes, our job is to remain faithful, to trust in his timing, and to prepare ourselves for what is ahead. The season of waiting is not a time of passivity, but a time of active growth, learning, and deepening our relationship with God. And when the time comes for the waiting to end, you will be ready, not just to receive, but to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Breakthrough is not just a concept. It is a promise that is rooted in the deepest truths of life and faith. Breakthrough is that moment when everything that seemed impossible suddenly becomes possible. It is when the struggles, the disappointments, the challenges, and the setbacks no longer define us, but instead, they become the stepping stones to something greater. Breakthrough is when God moves in such a way that all the waiting, all the preparation, all the effort you've put into your life suddenly comes together and you step into something new. It's the moment when you begin to see that the difficulty, the struggle, and the obstacles you faced were not in vain, but were part of God's perfect plan to bring you into your destiny. But here's the thing about breakthrough. It never comes easily. It doesn't happen overnight. The path to breakthrough is often filled with delays, disappointments, and difficulties. We live in a world where we are accustomed to instant results, where we want things to happen quickly, and we want to see results right now. But the truth is, breakthrough is not a matter of time, it's a matter of God's perfect timing. And when God's timing comes, it's not a question of whether the breakthrough will happen, it's a question of whether you will be ready to receive it. Every person who has ever experienced a breakthrough has had to go through a season of struggle, a season of waiting, and a season of testing. In those seasons, it may feel as though nothing is happening. It may seem as though the promises you've believed in, the dreams you've had, and the prayers you've prayed have fallen on deaf ears. But understand this. Just because you don't see the change happening doesn't mean that change isn't coming. Breakthrough is happening even when it seems like nothing is moving. It is in those moments when you feel like you are stuck, when you feel like you are in the dark, that God is working behind the scenes to bring about a new level of blessing in your life. One of the hardest things to do during times of waiting is to remain faithful and hopeful. It is easy to grow weary when you don't see immediate results, but the power of breakthrough lies in persistence and faith. You must keep moving forward even when you can't see the end. You must keep pressing forward even when it feels like you're walking in circles. There is a power in staying faithful to the process, in trusting that God is always working, even when you can't see his hand at work. It's in those moments of uncertainty that your faith is being built, your strength is being tested, and your character is being refined. Breakthrough also requires a shift in perspective. When you are in the midst of a struggle, it's easy to focus solely on the pain, the difficulty, and the disappointment. But breakthrough comes when you shift your focus from what you're going through to what you are going to. You must shift your mindset from the obstacle in front of you to the opportunity on the other side of it. Breakthrough happens when you realize that what you are facing right now is temporary and that something greater is coming. It's in those moments of faith that you begin to see your breakthrough not as a distant event, but as a present reality waiting for you to step into. Understand that breakthrough is not just about external circumstances changing. It's about an internal transformation that allows you to see things differently, to move differently, and to live differently. Breakthrough is when you are able to look at the challenges in your life and see them as opportunities for growth. It's when you begin to recognize that the trials you've faced have equipped you for the victories you are about to experience. Breakthrough happens when you no longer see yourself as a victim of your circumstances, but as a victor over them. There is a specific moment in time when the chains are broken, when the walls fall down, and when the floodgates of blessings open. That moment is coming for you, and it is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. God's word assures us that He will bring breakthrough into our lives. But it will come at just the right time. It will come when you are ready to receive it. It will come when you have endured, when you've remained faithful, and when you have allowed God to do His perfect work in your life. So hold on to the promise of breakthrough. Keep pressing forward. Keep believing that God is working on your behalf. Know that breakthrough is coming, and it is going to exceed your expectations. It is going to be more than you can ask or imagine. And when it comes, you will look back at the journey and realize that the breakthrough was worth every moment of waiting, every tear, every struggle. God is about to move in your life in a way that will shift everything for the better. Keep your faith strong, for the breakthrough you have been waiting for is not just on the way, it is already in the making. Walking through with faith and courage is one of the most important steps you can take in life, especially when standing before new opportunities, facing challenges, or stepping into the unknown. We all encounter moments when life presents us with doors, situations, and opportunities that seem daunting, uncertain, or even impossible. It is in these moments that faith and courage become the tools we need to move forward, to press on, and to claim what is rightfully ours. Faith is the belief in things unseen, the trust that even when we cannot see the way forward, God is already working behind the scenes to guide us. Courage, on the other hand, is the strength to act despite the fear, the unknowns, and the challenges that lie ahead. When combined, faith and courage become the foundation upon which we build the future God has promised us. There will always be moments in life when you feel unprepared, when the road ahead seems unclear, and when doubt whispers in your ear. These are the times when walking through with faith and courage becomes essential. It is easy to move forward when the path is clear, when the signs are obvious, and when success seems guaranteed. But the real test of our faith and courage comes when the road is rocky, when the future is uncertain, and when all we have is the assurance that God is with us. In those moments, faith becomes the anchor that keeps us grounded, and courage becomes the force that propels us forward, even when every step feels like a leap into the unknown. Faith doesn't require us to see the full picture. It requires us to trust in the one who holds the picture. When God calls you to step into something new, to walk through a new door, He doesn't always show you every detail of what's ahead. He doesn't lay out a perfect blueprint of the journey. Instead, He invites you to trust Him, to take the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. The beauty of faith is that it doesn't require us to know everything or have all the answers. It simply requires us to trust that God's plans are better than ours, and that He will lead us through every twist and turn. Courage, on the other hand, is the strength to act on that faith. It is the willingness to take the first step even when fear tries to hold us back. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. When you walk through life with courage, you are saying that you will not allow fear to dictate your actions or hold you back from fulfilling your destiny. Fear will always be present in moments of uncertainty, but courage is what allows you to stand tall in the face of it. Courage is not about having everything figured out. It's about taking the next step even when the outcome is uncertain. Faith and courage are intertwined because they both require a deep belief in something greater than ourselves. Faith tells us that we are not alone in this journey. God is with us, guiding us every step of the way. Courage, then, is the decision to move forward, knowing that even in our weakness, God's strength is made perfect. It is the courage to act on our faith, to believe in the promises God has made to us, and to trust that He will provide everything we need along the way. In moments of doubt, when the doors ahead seem too big, too difficult, or too risky to walk through, remember that God never calls us to something He hasn't already equipped us for. If God has opened the door for you, He will give you the strength and wisdom you need to walk through it. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being willing to face your fears and walk through them anyway. It's about having the confidence that God will not lead you into a place of harm, but rather into a place of growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. When you walk through with faith and courage, you are walking in the full assurance that you are not walking alone. God goes before you, beside you, and behind you. His presence will guide your every step, and His power will enable you to overcome every obstacle. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to deepen your trust in God's ability to carry you through. And as you walk through with faith and courage, you will begin to see that what once seemed impossible is now within reach. The impossible becomes possible. The unknown becomes known. And you begin to step into the life that God has designed for you. So, never underestimate the power of walking through with faith and courage. It is the key that unlocks doors, overcomes barriers, and takes you to places you never thought possible. Each step you take in faith is a step toward fulfilling your divine purpose. And each act of courage brings you closer to the life God has promised you. With faith in your heart and courage in your soul, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. Trust in the journey, believe in the process, and walk boldly through every door God opens for you. New doors require a change in mindset because entering into a new season, a new opportunity, or a new level of your life is not just about stepping into a new physical space. It's about transforming the way you think, the way you perceive the world, and the way you approach challenges. The truth is, you cannot enter a new door with the same mindset you had before. If you want to experience something different, something greater, you have to think differently. You have to shift your perspective, adjust your priorities, and embrace new ways of thinking that will propel you into your future. Without this mental transformation, the opportunities that come your way will not be fully realized. A mindset rooted in fear, doubt, or limitation will always keep you bound to the past. It will make you see every challenge as an obstacle instead of an opportunity for growth. It will cause you to look at the unknown with trepidation, thinking you're not capable of overcoming the hurdles that lie ahead. But the moment you change your mindset, everything changes. You begin to see challenges as stepping stones, setbacks as setups for comebacks, and the unknown as a canvas for new possibilities. When you shift your thinking, you break free from the chains of limitation and step into the freedom that comes with embracing the opportunities God has placed before you. Changing your mindset also means letting go of old beliefs and paradigms that no longer serve you. Many of us carry with us limiting beliefs that were instilled in us by others, by our past experiences, or by our own insecurities. These beliefs tell us that we are not enough, that we cannot succeed, or that we are destined to remain in our current circumstances. But when God opens a new door for you, He is inviting you to let go of those old mindsets and to embrace His truth about who you are. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by the future He has prepared for you. The new door before you is an invitation to step into that future with a fresh perspective and a renewed sense of possibility. To step through the new door, you must be willing to believe that something better awaits you on the other side. You must believe that God has equipped you for what is ahead and that you are capable of handling the challenges that will come. This is where faith plays a critical role. Faith allows you to let go of the old mindset that says you can't and to adopt the mindset that says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Faith opens your eyes to see the potential in every situation and the opportunities in every challenge. It empowers you to move forward, not based on what you see, but based on what you know to be true in your heart. One of the most important aspects of changing your mindset is the ability to embrace change itself. Change is often seen as uncomfortable, even intimidating, but it is essential for growth. A new door always signifies change, and with change comes both discomfort and opportunity. The way you handle change determines whether or not you will step through the door with success. If you resist change, you will remain stuck where you are. But when you embrace change, you open yourself up to new experiences, new growth, and new possibilities. The door before you may look different from what you expected, but if you shift your mindset, you will see it for what it truly is: a gateway to your future. A new door requires that you not only change the way you think, but also the way you act. It's one thing to change your mindset, but it's another thing to align your actions with that new mindset. When you believe that new opportunities are within your reach, your actions must reflect that belief. This means stepping out of your comfort zone, taking risks, and making decisions that reflect the new person you are becoming. Changing your mindset isn't just about thinking differently, it's about living differently. It's about aligning your actions with the destiny you are stepping into. So as you stand before the new doors that God is opening for you, remember that your mindset will either be the key that unlocks those doors or the barrier that keeps them shut. You must choose to think with faith, to believe in the possibilities, and to embrace the change that comes with stepping into something new. The door before you is not just a physical passageway, it is a representation of the person you are becoming. When you change your mindset, you change the way you view yourself, your potential, and your future. You become someone who not only walks through doors, but someone who is equipped to handle whatever comes on the other side. New doors are waiting for you, and they are ready to lead you into new realms of growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. But it all begins with a decision to shift your mindset and step boldly into the future God has for you.